Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. This stream runs every night starting at 7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat as you feel like it. I'll do my best to answer those questions as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. The Justice Department is set to move to loosen federal restrictions on marijuana. Right now, weed is considered a Schedule I drug, which means it has no medical use and a high potential for abuse. Other drugs in that category are heroin and LSD. The Justice Department reportedly wants to move it to Schedule III. Those substances are considered to have moderate to low potential for dependence. The category includes things like Tylenol with codeine and anabolic steroids. When the DOJ makes the recommendation, it will take months to take effect after a public comment period. Neither the Justice Department nor the White House confirmed the change. Happening live at Northern Michigan University, as you can see on your screen, the tent encampment we first told you about yesterday at NMU continues tonight. A series of pro-Palestinian encampments like this are popping up on college campuses all across America. Northern Michigan University's students set up this protest yesterday. As of tonight, the students reported 8 people acting suspiciously around the encampment last night with their faces covered. Students in the encampment said they were calling the protesters terrorist apologists.
Now, emphasizing more strongly in our demands that the university take a position and make a public statement so that behavior like this is not enabled in the future.
University administrators say they have been in contact with students in the encampment and have given them permission to be there until at least Friday. And developing now, 1 person is dead and 2 more are seriously hurt after a crash yesterday in Wells Township. The Michigan State Police says the driver of a Chevrolet Silverado tried to pass an ambulance with its lights and sirens on. The Silverado then hit a Dodge Ram parked on the shoulder of the road that was yielding for the ambulance. The driver of the Silverado was a 35-year-old Escanaba man. Troopers say he died at the scene. Troopers confirmed the 2 people in the Ram are a Delta County man and his 8-year-old granddaughter. They are in Wisconsin hospitals. The MSP says the investigation is ongoing. And the Michigan State Police is clearing up. Let's get that out of there for you guys. The Michigan State Police is clearing up public confusion about its new pursuit policy after it saw 3 Marquette County drivers fully policed this month following the announcement. The MSP says it received many calls following the most recent incident on April 19th. We've requested dash cam video from the incident. The MSP says the video demonstrates the policy in action. The trooper begins to conduct a traffic stop, but when the driver speeds up to get away, the trooper slows down. The car was found a short time later, crashed and abandoned on the side of the road in Negaunee Township. An MSP public information officer says a trooper will end a vehicle pursuit if the person driving hasn't committed one of 5 life-threatening felonies. But he says ending a pursuit does not mean the person will get away.
We absolutely will turn off our lights and siren, but we will find this person. And when we find this person, that $65 seatbelt ticket has now turned into a felony, where they're going to be punishable to the fullest extent of the law. We will hold them responsible. They could face prison time for fleeing a stop just because they weren't wearing the seatbelt or maybe they were speeding.
The MSP says this pursuit policy was changed after years of troopers and innocent people being killed during a chase. The Marquette Township Board of Trustees is partnering with a Marquette-based company to increase sustainability. Peninsula Solar installed a ground-mounted solar energy system on the north side of the Township Hall back in February. Marquette Township Manager John Kangas says the township utilized a federal program that delivers 30% direct reimbursements for municipal and nonprofit organizations that add solar energy systems. Kangas says funding came from state marijuana excise tax revenues that they hadn't budgeted for.
That's not money that we count on, but when it comes in, we use it to do these projects that are high on the want list, but definitely not on the need list. So we take that new revenue put it into something that hopefully will benefit the taxpayers by reducing the long-term energy costs of the township hall.
Marquette Township anticipates a 10 to 14-year rate of return on this investment. And this week, Mission 23 of the Upper Peninsula Honor Flight takes off from the Delta County Airport. The spring flight typically happens just before Memorial Day on a Wednesday. Organization President Scott Knopf says the earlier flight, now on Thursday, is due to flight and tour bus availability. Knopf says 79 Korean and Vietnam War veterans will make the trip to Washington, D.C., including 4 women.
So we will be making a stop at the Women's Memorial at the bottom of the hill of Arlington Cemetery.
Knopf hopes a crowd shows up to welcome the veterans home. Doors open at the Van Roy hangar Thursday night at 7 o'clock. The flight will arrive between 9 and 9:30. He says it's to give service members the welcome home they didn't get 50 to 60 years ago. If you're looking for a way to spend an evening this week, look no further than the Calumet Theater. The Calumet Players are preparing for their latest performance, and TV6's Houghton Hancock bureau reporter Colin Jackson spoke with the cast to tell you what to expect.
Beginning Wednesday night, the Calumet Players will be presenting An Enemy of the People. A tale of small-town drama, it is set in a small Norway peninsula town, with its tourist attraction being its freshwater baths. But when a doctor finds bacteria in the water, he is opposed on all sides from making change.
There's a lot of satire about how institutions work, how democracy works, how social expectations work, and basically our main character is trying to cut through the red tape.
Created by Henrik Ibsen in 1881, this version was adapted by Arthur Miller. Wagner was surprised by the similarities to our area after reading through it.
We're really hoping that the audience sees themselves on stage and the very issues that we face as a community here in the Keweenaw and in the Upper Peninsula is resonated through this story.
The cast includes Andrea Morse. She plays Catherine, Dr. Stockman's wife.
As the play progresses, she tends to see more and more of the different characters playing sides and not being forthright with their motivation. And so she starts to see them as horrible people, and she wants to try to correct the mistakes that they're making.
Zachary Blessing plays Peter Stockman, the town's mayor.
His brother, the doctor, has discovered that the springs that are supposed to help people is making people sick. And it's because the mayor chose to build the intake for the springs in the wrong spot.
The show runs tomorrow through Saturday at 7:30 each night, with a Sunday matinee at 2. Colin Jackson, TV6 News, Calumet.
Thank you, Colin. Finally tonight on the TV6 Digital Desk live stream, 2 Michigan filmmakers are touring UP cities this week to benefit area theaters. The tour shows off Marquee Town, a documentary that starts with the history of the Nordic and Delft theaters in downtown Marquette and leads into the rich history of cinema in the Upper Peninsula. Proceeds from each stop on the tour will be donated back to each of the venues. One co-writer says people across the state enjoy the history of the UP.
It was no longer.
I think for a lot of people, they've never had a chance to visit the Upper Peninsula and experience, just what makes it so special. And hopefully our movie's a bit of a love letter, specifically to Marquette, but to this awesome theater empire that was there up in the UP for almost 100 years.
After 50 years, the Maple Theater.
To view tour dates, you can go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in right back here on Facebook at 8:45 tomorrow morning. TV6's Mandy Koskela and Michael Sobek will recap top stories from the morning on their show, Beyond Your Morning News. If you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you all for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night.